Hey everybody, it's Chelsea here. I am coming to you from my living room today, a little bit of a different scenery here. I also wanted to talk about kind of a different style of topic than I've talked about before. This one's a little bit more personal, but it is, I think, something that is pretty relevant, and I've been thinking of how it applies just kind of in the bigger picture. It's this fitness program, nutrition program that I started 11 days ago. It's not something that I'm selling or anything like that, but it's something that I am experiencing for myself, and I wanted to share with you about it. So what it's bringing up for me in the bigger picture is the whole world of readiness and the necessary ingredients that a person needs when they're taking on a big challenge or a life endeavor. Say it's a new fitness program, trying to reach health goals, even something like a career change or starting a new business. There's certain ingredients that need to be in place, and sometimes we're not necessarily in a state where we are ready. Hey Abdul, hey Deb and Tyra, hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining. So I'm talking about this fitness and nutrition program that I just started. Hi Lynn. I started it about 11 days ago, and it is a program that I actually picked up and bought a year ago. And I bought it, it was online, it's this digital program, it was like $50. I bought it, then I took one look at, the details of it, and I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do this. It looked, in my mind at the time a year ago, it looked too hard. It was only $50, so I just kind of left it. I just thought whatever, and I actually forgot about it. But then, a year down the road, I've decided to start it, and it's actually going really well. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the difference. Like, why is that a year ago, it looked like it was just something that I could never accomplish, and now a year later, here I am, just really enjoying it and loving it. So when I first looked at it, no, it's one of those programs that's, like they take out a lot of stuff, but it's also very nourishing. So, it's very high on, like really good quality fats and protein and vegetables, of course. But when I saw no grains at all, like nothing whatsoever, no sugar, which I've done before, but still, it's always a struggle. This was even no stevia, and that to me sounded like just nothing sweet at all. It even eliminated fruit. But basically, like, I looked at it and I was just like, this sounds impossible. But the whole point of it was, the program itself was geared towards new moms, to help new moms feel really healthy and fit. It also, the fitness side of it really addresses the abdominal wall, pelvic floor stuff. And as I'm finding, as I'm going through the workouts as well, it is very gentle in kind of, because it's an 8-week program, right? So it's very gentle in the increase in intensity. And of course, they're always addressing, do you have weak abdominal wall or ab separation or anything like that? So all of that stuff, it was a great program, but like I said, I looked at a year ago, and I just thought, there's no way. And of course, when I look at, looking back now, what I was going through, and it wasn't the right time for me. I had a lot of stuff that I was still dealing with. It had been relatively traumatic pregnancy. I was sick most of the time. I was, had a 3-month-old. I was on my own. And of course, obviously, as women, after we have babies, hey, Amy, how's it going? We often still feel that, that societal pressure to look a certain way. And of course, at the same time as I looked at that program and I decided it just wasn't for me at the time, I really just, decided to take this approach of self-love and just, let myself eat nourishing foods, do what I needed to do to look after myself, look after my girls, and just really, take care of what was needed at the time. At that time, I wasn't ready to do a major intensive program. It wasn't the right time, and that's kind of the point of what I'm talking about right now. There's stages of readiness when you're wanting to take on a big endeavor, and there's also a major component that we often forget, and that's healing. You know, if we've just gone through a trauma, if we're recovering from something that, you know, either it's past trauma that we haven't dealt with, or like, you know, for me, I had just had a baby. I was on my own. You know, my baby's father had been deported. So I was, you know, just really trying to figure out what my life looked like beyond that time. That's not a good time to try to take on a major fitness program, obviously. So I did not do that. You know, instead focused on just putting one foot in front of the other, what needed to happen at the time to get myself to where I needed to be. And also not worry about any of the superficial stuff at the beginning. You know, so just in general, it's something to think about. You know, if you're wanting to make a major change, it's important to really take stock of where you are. So, you know, we're all at different stages, we're at different abilities, we all have different ideals of what we want for ourselves. So it's important to really, like, this is all about you, right? It's important to really tune in and ask what you need right now, and really what is the most appropriate thing. Is it healing first? Is it looking at, you know, what needs to be handled? I mean, really back then I was in more of a survival mode, and, you know, it's just, there's no way that it would have worked. Or if I had started it, I probably would have lasted, you know, a day or two on it. So anyways, 1 year later, I looked at this program, and even though it seemed daunting when I first decided I was going to take it on, I thought, you know what, I can do this. So I had what I needed in place to actually take on this program. And of course, as I always try to emphasize, I mean, self-love is such an important part of anything that we do. So just really being gentle with myself, and, you know, knowing, like, a year ago I was struggling. You know, and like I said, in that last year, I just kind of ate whatever I felt like eating. Of course, with a nutritious base. I mean, with the studies that I've gone through with naturopathic medicine, I don't think I could ever really go off the rails, but I was eating, you know, whatever I felt like, lots of sugar. And I also, you know, around the holidays this past year, I was still driving a school bus, and those kids just showered me with gifts when it was Christmas time, but it was all chocolate, and I ate it all. Like, I can't have chocolate in front of me without eating it, right? So that's just one of my weaknesses, is chocolate. Anyways, so, you know, fast forward a few more months, and I was just starting to get to that point where, like, okay, it's time. This is time for me to take on a new fitness program, or to just get to the shape that I wanted to be in. Because, you know, as much as I felt good, you know, a lot of the stuff kind of going on in my middle area, it was like, I still look like I'm pregnant, you know, and that can often happen when, you know, of course, our abdominal wall can get weakened, and then we're not, you know, doing the core strengthening activities that we need, right? So there's that. I think I was eating a lot of stuff that was, you know, causing bloating, and I just, you know, things I was probably sensitive to as well, and it just wasn't the right, I just didn't feel good. I didn't feel good in my body. And, you know, I have been asked if I was pregnant, and that's like, when you're not pregnant, you know, it's kind of mortifying. You don't want to be asked that. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm ready now. It's time for me to start something new. I was getting frustrated with myself, though, because I had done a program. I don't know, a lot of you may remember. Hi, Joy, how are you? A couple of years ago, I had a lot of success on a program called 21 Day Fix. I loved it. I used to sell it. It was awesome. And, you know, it's a great nutrition, it's a very balanced nutritional program and fitness program. But I went on it, I think I just started it about 5 times, and it wasn't working for me. I couldn't get it to work. And I, again, was, you know, kind of being hard on myself. Kept starting and stopping. And then I finally thought, okay, I'm going to try something different. So I went back, I found this program that I had forgotten I had bought a year ago. And like I said, it's geared towards new moms. So what I love about it, and what I loved about it is, I mean, of course, the nutrition part of it is quite zeroed in. You know, it's 8 weeks of really focusing on very high dense, high nutritious food. I was a vegetarian for 10 years, and I'm eating way more vegetables than I ever did back then. It's, you know, mostly vegetables. It's lean protein, chicken, fish, healthy fats, a little bit of carbs from sweet potatoes, and that's pretty much it. But what I love about it is I'm just really experimenting, you know, like all of the great things you can do now that there's all of these amazing keto recipes out there, you know, making pizza crust out of cauliflower or making rice out of cauliflower. One of my favorite foods in general is roasted vegetables. So I'm basically just really in heaven. And I'm also doing a lot of, you know, making sure that there's a lot of flavor in my food. And like I said, I'm not selling this program. I'm just talking about how, you know, the different stages of readiness that we can be at when we're wanting to take something on. So now, you know, a year later after I bought it, you know, and just thought this looks impossible, I decided I was going to start it. I am 11 days in, and it's just been amazing. It's been amazingly easy, I think, just because I have been, you know, for one thing, I gave myself 2 weeks before I started to do a lot of planning, to do a lot of the, you know, kind of the research, figuring out recipes and things, making sure that I had what I needed. And I also am doing that ongoing, you know, making sure that I'm not running out of the stuff that I needed. I order my groceries, I get them delivered, and I found it so easy and simple to have that system in place where, you know, if I'm running out of something, I just know I can add it to the list and it's going to get delivered, and it's just, you know, an extra few hours a day that I have for myself and my girls. I don't have to spend shopping, which is awesome too. So anyways, it's 8 weeks long. I'm just 11 days in, and it's going well so far. I'll keep sharing how it's going as I go, but overall, the real point of what I'm talking about today is really about readiness. Hey Melissa, how are you? So, and again, this is just part of your own personal journey. So if you're wanting to go through a transformation, make a change in your life, if you're wanting to take something on, it's really looking at, you know, how you're doing, you know, how you are in relation to any trauma that you've experienced or are continuing to experience. It's really looking at these higher level things first and really addressing, and then of course also addressing any underlying traumas or past traumas. You know, I know for myself, as I've been doing a lot more healing work over the last couple of months, there's so many past traumas that I had just kind of stepped away. You know, I ignored them. I thought, oh, they don't really matter. They happened when I was, you know, 14 years old, but I hadn't healed from them. And just going through that work, I think, is what's helped me get to this stage where now, you know, making these major changes. I mean, we can have such an emotional attachment to food as well. And I think I used to, especially with, you know, sugar and chocolate and things like that. And that seems to be, now that I've dealt with a lot of the healing that I needed to do, it is feeling effortless. So it's just, I think, an important thing. It's really looking at what stage you're at and what you need in the moment. You know, and of course it's great to look ahead and look at all of the things that you want to accomplish for yourself, but really meeting yourself where you're at in the moment and taking the important first steps of really, it's like a, you know, triage, like looking at what do we need to do first? How do we need to get, you know, everything in place of what we need so that we can, you know, take these steps down the road. Oh, thank you so much, Joy. Love you. Talk to you later. All right. So other things that are just kind of the topics that I wanted to cover. I think we got them all. Oh, I guess that was the one thing, you know, when I was talking about that other program that I was trying that used to be successful for me, it used to work. And here I am trying it again, and it's like, it's not working. And I think I was so stuck on it because I was like, oh, I used to be able to just feel amazing on this, feel like I could really get in great shape. It wasn't happening for me. So anyways, it was hard to let that go, but it was just a little shift. That's all it was. So if you're kind of feeling like you're beating your head against the wall and old things that used to work for you aren't working, that's okay, because there's always another solution. There's always something new that you can try. Hey Marcy, how are you? Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard. If you feel like you're beating your head against the wall in any area of life, it's a really important signal to just stop, take stock, look at what's going on, and do a shift and try a different approach. That's really, I guess, the difference. You know, it's like we want to be challenged in our lives. We want to take on things that, you know, they help us grow. But, you know, there's a difference between struggle and challenge. And if you find that you're really struggling, that's, I think, the best signal for you to just pause, reevaluate, and figure out what you're going to do next. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. You know, just looking at how ready you are in whatever it is that you're wanting to do. If you're, you know, ready, but you've got a lot of other things going on in your life that need to be healed or looked at or addressed, then of course you want to focus on those things first. If you're really ready and you just are so excited to get started on something new for yourself, especially if it is, you know, health or career, those are my areas of expertise. Those are the areas I love. So I would love to chat with you if you are ready. Even if you're not ready, you know, have a chat and we can take a look at what you need to do first so that you can be ready, you know, just so that you are feeling like you're moving forward. You're not spinning your wheels. You're gaining ground on whatever it is that you want for your life. So that's everything that I wanted to talk about. Thank you, you guys, for watching, and lots of love, and I will see you again sometime soon. Bye.